It's a very powerful story, and we always have to keep in mind that there are so many intangibles that help us to move along where we are. I know that all too well, being the youngest of four and having a sister 15 years older than me. So I really understand that kind of relationship so well. And I live off of the, unconditional love and the passion that came from that relationship. This week, how to increase our momentum and determine the distance to hit the target, our passions and purpose, is a very, very powerful piece. It's been a very, very powerful week, and we've been able to collectively raise some very great ingredients that cause us to focus on increasing our momentum. We talked about follow-up. We talked about sealing leaks. We talked about aggressively moving towards the next task. We talked about strategic execution. We talked about seeing the vision of what you are pursuing, because that's the thing that gives you your swag about moving towards it. We talked about optimism, positive expectations, undying confidence in the team. We have to look at those things in ourselves and then look at those things in our community. Because right now we have a community that stays kind of chilled to lukewarm to kind of hot. Chilled to lukewarm that's kind of hot. And we have to begin to galvanize the energy of our community so we build momentum. That's our challenge. We've got to build it in ourselves, and we've got to build it in our community so it doesn't move from chilled to lukewarm to hot. Right now, because of the case that's national and getting that notoriety of Trayvon, we're somewhere between lukewarm and hot, waiting for the verdict. But that's because of an external force. That is not momentum. That is circumstances and conditions that have caused us to react. We are still not creating the energy, the power, and the potency from the inside by increasing our momentum. That is our challenge. We have to realize when we look at a community that moves from chilled to lukewarm to hot, we have to find a way to raise the temperature of our community 1 degree at a time. 1 degree at a time. We've got to always be mindful of what is the temperature of our community. What is the climate of it? How do we move it systematically to another degree? How do we move it from cool to warm, from warm to hot to boiling, so that it generates enough force to power change? That's our responsibility, and we have to have the momentum in order to get it to a temperature so that it generates the force to power change. This is the part that happens when you move from the inside out. Then you don't have to be victims of circumstances and conditions that cause you to be an uninsured community, hoping that you get redress of grievance by an external world. When you insure yourself, you insulate yourself. When you insure yourself, you protect yourself. When you insure yourself, you construct an environment for yourself where you have the liability, you have the insurance, you have the protection, you have the confidence, you have the faith that what you built will protect you. But when you don't move from lukewarm to hot back to cool, you are hoping on an external world to give you what you are not giving yourself. That is the definition of vulnerability. That is what spawns insecurity. That is what makes fear come into place. That is what creates denial. That is what causes us to act like storks and ostriches that put our head in the sand and pretend things are away that in fact they're really not. Why? Because we have not moved from cool to warm to hot to boiling. We don't commit ourselves to generating enough force to power change. And when we think about powering change, we think about increasing our momentum. We think about measuring the distance from where we are to where we are going. See, the similarity between distance and planning. Planning is the rational predetermination of where we are, where we are going, the distance we need to get there, and how we are going to get there. That's what you do when there is no circumstance on the outside. So by the time something happens, you've got a machine, an organization, a process. You've tested the fire drill to ensure you know what to do, when, how, where, and why, with a degree of permanence, perpetuity, and longevity. Over to you, Kevin. We'd like to thank you for tuning in to our morning inspirational message today. We definitely appreciate your presence. We appreciate your participation. We appreciate you giving your time to become a part of what we are in fact developing, creating, and cultivating, which is a changed mind for a changed community. We'd like you to call your friends, your family members, as you begin to do the day-to-day things in life that reflect and shape your life. We see it as so valuable for you to create a new dialogue, create a new attitude, create a new vision, commit to a change, look at a paradigm shift, open up the capacity to think of possibilities and options. And when you think of those things, when you are off stage, when you get on stage, they're very natural. They're very subconscious. They're very subcutaneous. They're very below the level of operating. So they're a very natural part of your development, your prosperity, your growth, and your evolving. The beauty of this medium is you can reflect on it. You can reflect on it. You can study it. You can reflect on it. You can communicate about it. You can begin to go back and look at Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday and put a whole picture together to see what it means to increase your momentum and measure the distance to hit the target, your passions and your purpose. Because launching the target, launching the arrow is what? Your thoughts and your beliefs. So you begin to merge your thoughts and your beliefs with your passions and your purpose to hit the target for transformation, growth, and development. Take a moment to log on to our YouTube channel, leave a comment, leave a concern, leave a question, leave a feeling, leave a sentiment, leave a spirit, and most important, begin to utilize it as the journaling place for transformation and study. Because study doesn't begin with school and it doesn't end with school. Study becomes with your commitment to thinking, your commitment to controlling the environment that shapes how you see yourself. It begins with you controlling the environment that shapes what you think about. Study becomes getting answers to the critical questions that give you a life filled with the beauty and the happiness that you want. We look forward to bringing you this message. This message is something that we feel is very valuable, very important, a message of optimism, a message of positive expectations. Raise your expectations of yourself, because you cannot raise other people's expectations relative to you until you raise your expectations of yourself. See, you tell people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. You tell other people what bar to raise their relationship with you in by how you raise it for yourself. So raise your expectations. Come with optimism. Commit yourself to growing in every aspect of your life, growing emotionally, growing spiritually, growing intellectually, growing organizationally, growing in your commitment to unconditional love and family, growing to create an environment that reflects the beauty and the tranquility and the love of your spirit. And then prosperity will abound. Create a commitment to generate prosperity in your world, because in a prosperous world, you've got so much to give. When in a prosperous world, you have so many things you can do for so many. Go out, have a great and fantastic day, and make your life free, make your life happy, make your life fulfilled, and touch somebody else's life and stimulate that beauty, that radiance, that aura of belief and elevation for those in your world and around you. This is your friend and brother saying, have a great day, and we'll see you next time.